Hey everybody, and welcome to this day 3 recap of Microsoft Ignite 2020. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you to all my new subscribers who have been joining my YouTube channel as well. I want to give a quick roundup of some of the news that's been happening and some of the sessions that I want to highlight from Ignite 2020. So day 3, for the UK people at least, we're going back through some of the news, or I was going back through some of the news this morning and noticed a few things that I had missed completely from day 1. So let's have a look at those. Now, we announced something, an extra benefit around Azure Hybrid Benefit. So you may be familiar with Azure Hybrid Benefit, which allows you to take your software assurance licenses for your Windows servers from your on-prem and use them in the cloud, and then stop having to pay for that licensing in Azure. So effectively you're only paying for like the storage and the compute because you've already paid for the license. Now, what we've got in preview now is Azure Hybrid Benefit for some of the Linux flavours as well. And just checking here, I think it's for the Red Hat and SUSE flavours as well. So it's in preview and you need to fill in a form, and I'll post some links in the description below. But that's going to give some of our customers some great flexibility when they take their Linux workloads up into the cloud as well. So definitely check that out if you're running some of the Linux workloads in the cloud. Something else that not necessarily is my area of expertise anymore, but I think is pretty cool, and it's called Microsoft Tunnel, and it's part of, and I'm going to read because this is quite detailed and I want to make sure I get it right. It is a remote access solution integrated with Microsoft Endpoint Manager, which enables iOS or Android devices to connect to on-prem app resources, and you can be productive on the go as well. So I think it uses some kind of VPN and split tunneling to be able to enable that, but I think that's great for the fact that we now been able to give people that productivity on their mobile device if they need to access something that still resides on-prem, and hopefully it's quite easy. I think it's still in preview, so again, definitely check that out if you are running some on-prem applications and you want to look at giving your end users some productivity on the go with their iOS and Android devices. Another thing that I want to highlight here, again, not necessarily in my remit because it's more in the Office 365 space, but it looks like Microsoft Bookings, which is a great tool that you can use to allow other people to schedule things in your calendar. So often I get external people saying, I'd love to have a chat with you, or I want to have a meeting, or I want to schedule, say, a podcast interview. And instead of doing that back and forth through email about when are you free, does this slot work, can we work with this slot, here's my availability, and by the time the email comes back, the availability that they want is gone. All that kind of stuff is stopped with Microsoft Bookings. So I make my calendar available to external people. They can see my availability, so they can see the free slots, and then they can book something in there right there and then, and it's in my diary, automatically scheduled with a Teams meeting, and it's done. End of. Really simple solution, and it looks like there are going to be some updates to Microsoft Bookings, so I'll definitely be keeping an eye out for that and seeing how it can enhance my experience with bookings. So today, personally, I have been on stage or on camera quite a bit. And this morning, Thomas Moore and I did a session called IT Operations in the Cloud World. And that was from the Learning Zone track or pathway called Intro into Tech Skills. And we were talking basically about IT pros, how they're very much still relevant in the cloud world, and where people could actually start to get some resources and what certifications they could focus on if they were moving into that kind of job role. So that was really fun having that chat with Thomas and just being able to do that. So, and a huge thank you to Oren and Sonia and my team as well, who were doing some of the moderating in the background as well. So after that, I had my lunch, so I had a break for something to eat, and then I was back on camera with 2 live interviews. So I got to interview someone from the Azure Migrate program team or product team, and that was super cool because if you know me, you know that migration and Azure Migrate are 2 of my favourite topics. So we managed to get a few questions in, and hopefully we'll be able to do a longer interview. I'm hoping he'll come back and do a longer interview with me, so check out that as well. And then the second session that I did was was with one of our cloud solution architects around enterprise scale landing zone architecture, and he was talking about how that can be really useful for our customers to onboard and either when they're starting their cloud journey or when they're midway through it or wherever they are on their journey, how they can utilise that as well. A couple of the sessions that I did pick out that I want to watch now that Ignite is over are 2 interviews that my colleague Oren did. He interviewed Jeff Woolsey about Windows Server and some of the Azure Stack stuff, and he also spoke to Ned Pyle about Windows Server as well. So I'm definitely going to be tuning into them, and yeah, it's been a great Microsoft Ignite 2020. I'm sure I still haven't caught up on all the news, but yeah, it's going to be great fun. And next week I am recording a podcast around a recap of Microsoft Ignite, and I think I have 2 user group talks around again a recap of Ignite. So definitely going to be diving into the news a bit more and focusing on that and seeing where I can do. And yeah, I've got a plethora, as my colleague Anthony would say, of blog posts that I want to write. So definitely lots to keep me busy over the upcoming weeks. Thank you for tuning in, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do. I will be doing my weekly video, which is another roundup video on Friday about stuff that's been happening in the Azure world and also some of my news as well. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you again.